We begin with breaking news. We are learning more about the moments that led up to the shooting of Mobile police officer last month. Marco Perez charged with capital murder in connection with that shooting death.
Let's go live to NBC 15's Andrea Ramey, who was in that courtroom this afternoon. Andrea?
Yeah, Kim and Greg, a lot of new information coming out of court today. Detective Jermaine Rogers testifying that 3 shots were fired January 20th at the Peach Place apartments from a .40 caliber Smith & Wesson gun. Officer Tudor, he says, had 4 entry wounds. Tudor's left ear, left chest, middle of his back, and right hand were struck. 5 surveillance cameras were at this complex, yet none of those captured the actual shooting. Rogers testified that cameras did capture Officer Tudor pulling up in his personal 2017 silver Volkswagen, get out, and immediately draws weapon on Perez, who initially put his hands up. As Tudor approached, Rogers says Perez resisted arrest and a tussle ensued. Rogers says that 46 seconds of the tussle are off camera. That's when the shots were fired. At 26 seconds in, there's a reaction from the crowd. People start running. And again, at 37 seconds in, the crowd again has a reaction and runs. Rogers says 3 patrol units arrived and captured Perez as he was running away toward the woods at this apartment complex. Rogers says that Perez told these officers, quote, I messed up, and he complained about being tased. Now, Tudor, we learned today, had been communicating with a confidential informant via Snapchat and learned Perez's whereabouts. That informant told Perez that her uncle was coming to pick her up in a silver car. Now, the defense is questioning whether Perez actually knew that Tudor was an officer, but Rogers testified today that Tudor did have a badge on his belt. Also today, we learned the sheriff on 106.5 with Sean Sullivan talking about the weapon used to kill Officer Tudor. He said that it had never actually been reported stolen. The sheriff said that the ATF had traced this gun to the original owner, that it had been sold a couple of times, eventually wound up at a pawn shop, and the last owners told investigators that they actually did not report this weapon stolen. Judge Brooks today ruled that there was enough evidence for this case to move forward to a grand jury. This could take 6 to 9 months. Meanwhile, Perez will remain in jail without bond. Reporting live today at Government Plaza, Andrea Ramey, NBC 15.